everyone, it's Appleminte and welcome back again to Halloween month. As always, I post a new video every Friday, so if you're interested in art-related videos and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. So as you know, Halloween is just a few weeks away. To continue Halloween month, I was thinking of a few ideas and I thought, why not do something with pumpkins? So for today's video, I will be painting on a pumpkin and no, we're not talking this small Halloween craft pumpkin. This is fake. Did you think this was real? I mean, you can tell it's fake if you look at it up close because there's a bunch of dents in it when it was outside and it was really windy. It flew away. We found it like a week later on the neighbor, like all the way down the street, across the street, on their lawn. And then I had to like awkwardly run into their yard and they probably thought I was just stealing something from them, but this is my pumpkin. Anyway, for today's video, I went to the store and I found a very large pumpkin. Roll the clip. Okay, I'm on the quest for the perfect pumpkin. I want one that's like round enough, but I don't want it to be too small or too big. I want like a medium one. Okay, I'll check back with you. So somehow this really large pumpkin was $6. So I don't know how in the world this came out to $6, but I'm not gonna, whoop, not on the groceries. I have a lot of space to paint on this, so I'm gonna teleport back home now. So I'm really excited to paint on this and see what we can make. Let's just get into it. And one more thing right before we start the video, I just want to remind you guys that my 200K subscriber giveaway is almost over. As of the date I'm posting this video, there are just a few days left to enter. It ends October 21st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't already, please go check out the giveaway. I will link it below in my description. As long as it doesn't say closed in the title, you are still good to enter. So the first thing that I needed to do was to kind of sketch out what I wanted this to look like. As you can see in the bottom left corner of my sketchbook, I sketched out a face. I figured that a face would be the best way to go for this project, just because making something more small and detailed might be a little difficult with the pumpkin, especially that pencil and doesn't really draw too well on a pumpkin, so it'd be really hard to sketch out and plan out my lines. So I decided to go with something larger and simpler, but something I could still add detail into. So I decided to go with a face, and I wanted to do a cat girl with like a crown. She's a princess kitty for Halloween. I don't really know, something random, but I liked it because it was still Halloween-y. And then I pulled out my gouache paints. I used them as I would with like acrylic paints. I add a little bit of water in these, and because they're small tubes, so you know, you add a little bit of water and a little bit of paint goes a long way. So laid out the paper towels and it was ready for the pumpkin. Okay, enough being dramatic, but in all honesty, this was a large pumpkin. I decided I wanted to fill the entire front with a face, so instead of the pencil, I went ahead and used my fine liner pen, and I noticed that I drew the eyes, like one was smaller than the other, they were off, so I ended up just fixing that with paint when I went on in the painting phase, but I used this marker and then a colored pencil just to kind of sketch it out because I needed some kind of frame of reference, but it didn't need to be perfect. So to do this project, I figured the best way to start, as I normally do with coloring, is just bottom layer up. And yeah, as you can see, this paint was very runny at first because I added way too much water, and I was like, okay, wait, this is not gonna work with this pumpkin if I put this much water. So I scaled back the water a lot, just added like a little dot of water, a little dash, and that was way better, and it provided some nice coverage, but as you can see, this color's a bit light, so I needed 2 coats of it. So what better to help your paint dry than a hairdryer? So I pulled out the hairdryer in between coats of paint, just to speed up the process, because I did not want to be here all day literally watching paint dry. So yeah, the hairdryer was a handy tool. And the skin layer, yeah, it was pretty
you know, pretty straightforward, but it looks pretty messy. I know it looks messy, but here's the thing is that, like I said, layers, think layers. So it doesn't really matter if this bottom layer is messy, because I knew that when I would go to more, you know, layers going up and up, like I could just cover up the mistakes. So I added in some shading here. It's kind of hard to see as of right now, but when I add in the hair later, it'll be a little bit easier to see, especially underneath the hair there. But yeah, then I was deciding, all right, I think it's best to do like all the face details first. So I added some blush, and what I did there was I used a paper towel and some pink. I realized the pink is kind of dark, and it was a little difficult this step, especially with this paint, just because like the pumpkin, the color was like coming off when I would dab it on with the paper towel. Like some of the skin underneath was coming off, and I was just like, all right, I just had to kind of go back and forth and dry it with the hairdryer in between layers. And then I went ahead and filled in the full eye with white, and this is where I corrected the mistake of one eye being smaller than the other. I just kind of made the area of the eye a little bit larger with the white paint. I know this looks terrifying as it is right now. I promise it gets a little less terrifying, but hey, it's Halloween. You're supposed to be scared, right? I guess. And then I sketched in, I keep saying sketch, but I painted in where the eye would be. And everything looks really scary without lines. I'm just gonna say that. Like, I don't know, looks kind of freaky at this stage, but it gets better. And yeah, then I couldn't wait for the moment when I would just start outlining things, because that really is what helps the vision come together. So as you can see here, I'm outlining the eyes in a gray paint. They're still a little bit uneven, but they're better than they were in the initial planning, sketching phase, whatever you want to call it. And then I finally got to do the eyeliner on her eyes and really define them. And it looked so much better, like less terrifying than it did before. And so I started to hate it a bit less. And this part's always my favorite, even when I draw. Like, I just love doing eyes in general, so drawing like giant eyes on a pumpkin was pretty fun. And I mean, the only thing I will say, it's very difficult to paint on a pumpkin if you've ever done it before, because of all the ridges and the bumps. So I had to go super, super carefully and slowly to make sure that I wasn't like drawing all crooked, because even if you draw a straight line, it's just going to get all bumpy. So you kind of have to like adjust your line curves along with the curves of the pumpkin to assure that you get the line that you want. So yeah, those eyes took a little while. I mean, you guys saw it fast forwarded and sped up, but they took a little while. For her hair, I went with like a dark navy because I knew I wanted to add the ears in, so I wanted those to blend in, and I wanted her kind of be like Black Cat, so wanted everything to blend together. So I made her hair really dark. And this part was, again, where I corrected some mistakes of the skin. And sometimes I overdrew the hair, so I had to kind of like keep fixing it when it would get out of the lines. But for the most part, it came out okay. I wish I could have added like long hair or some kind of style, but you know, it's a pumpkin. I've only got so much surface area to work with. I added in her eyebrows, and things were starting to come together. Yeah, it was looking a little better. And then it was time to do the ears, and what I did was I took a paper bag, I drew out the ears that I wanted, and then I had 2 layers of the paper bag, so when I cut it out, I got 2 ears. And then I painted it before I put it on, because attaching the ears first and then painting them would have been way more difficult, so it's best to paint your thing first before you add it on. But of course I waited for it to dry a bit, and once it was dry, they were ready for application, and I will show you that in a second. But first, I decided to color in the little crown on the stump up there, which was also kind of difficult because the stump is like, it wasn't holding paint as well as the rest of the pumpkin was, but it wasn't that bad. Like, I outlined it, looked decent. So, and then of course I went ahead and added some more little details on the eyes and like little shines like I normally do on my pictures. And then the last step, of course, was to add on the ears. I could not for the life of me find my hot glue gun, so I just used tape and ratchetly taped it on. But you know, from the front you can't really notice. And that is my Halloween anime pumpkin adventure. So this is the finished product. This is actually pretty terrifying. It's not my favorite thing I've ever painted, but I think for what it is, it's pretty good. For the most part, it captured my sketch pretty well. This is what I planned out to create, and it happened. If you enjoyed watching this video, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite thing about Halloween is and what you're looking forward to the most. Help me give a name to our pumpkin face thing and for size comparison. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, all of my links are in the description below. I've got my shop linked below. I've also got my Instagram if you'd like to follow me there for other artwork that I do and to keep updated on my videos and just sketches and everything that I'm doing. So go follow me there if you haven't already. So yeah, until my next video, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys all next week for the final Halloween month video. Halloween's on a Wednesday this year and my videos come out on Fridays, so next Friday's the last Halloween themed video, but there'll be more videos after that, don't worry, just they won't be Halloween. So thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you all next week. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye!